It's about our first 100 miles of walking.
And can you trust that you won't blow away in the wind?
Yeah, it's the morning of the 12th day of walking. John O'Groats to Land's End. We've had all our rain. We couldn't film this morning from our stop, which was way up there because it's rained and blown, and it's coming again. We've just stopped and taken all our wet weather gear off, but I suspect maybe too early because it's all coming in again. The Glenmorangie or Glenmorangie brewery is just here, the single malt whiskey people. We went to go in there, but it's closed for tastings because of COVID. Oh my Lord. I thought whiskey was a great repeller of all illnesses. Anyway, so they've closed them down. Spineless, weak people. And yeah, we're on the roadside where our rubbish just blew away, but I've gone and collected it all. Getting ourselves ready for walking into Tain, which is about half a mile or a mile maybe in that direction. There was a famous battle going on at the same time as this royal borough was being formed. Go on, name it if you can. I'm sure you can. And as the invasions in the south happened in 1066, so the invasions from Germany a Lidl, my least favourite supermarket chain, right on the entrance of Tain when we need supplies, but I'm not going in there. Principles, I'm not a big fan of Lidl. I'm going to try and find a British supermarket chain. I've nothing against Lidl. When I'm in Germany, it's one of my favourite shops, but when they're in every single town and village across Europe, I try to avoid them. Look at the signpost. Big on Scottish. Lidl. Could you believe it? There's a company that could care nothing about Sicily or Florence or Nice or Caen or Barcelona any more than they could care about Tain. Big on Scottish. My bum. So what do we know about Tain? Well, not a lot at the moment, unless there's some signposts up to tell me. What I can tell you is it's a beautiful old town. Look at these lovely, maybe these ones are a little more modern. Look at this second one in here. There's a big blue car in the way. Let me get ahead so you can see. Pretty little cottage, lovely little roof details on the dormers, the chimney pots. Now look at that, so there's no car blocking us now. Look at that, look at the chimney pots up there. What a great little, pretty little town. That was put up for Kenneth Murray for his public usefulness. That's handy, isn't it? A lovely garden. I've been publicly useful, Michelle.
I thought I could be publicly useful and have a statue.
So we're heading out of Tain. We've just done a live stream. If you want to see that, I'll put the link down so you can see the live stream. I think it's Jogle day
10.
10. It's not the 10th day, by the way,
It's the 10th
but
live.
it's the 10th live stream. We're heading into this dark rain cloud. So we just stopped there next to the post box. Had two lovely ladies come and have a chat with us. The children coming home from school. And we've got to walk down that road. Hello you two. You two you. So it's saying the John O'Groats Trail is not down this road, but up that way. They call me old-fashioned. That does look charming, but something makes me want to stay on this road. So if you can imagine now, I've gone up ahead and I've put the camera on the tripod, and we've come back and we're doing a walk towards it, and then I'll go back and get it. And you've got to imagine that.
Because we're not doing it.
Because we're not doing it. Nor am I doing the one from behind where you run back for it. I've done it once or twice and I'm going off it. Maybe as I get fitter towards the end, I might give you some of those crazy shots. But right now, this is what you're getting. Good day.
Yeah.
Good day. Don't bother then. So we're trying something different. It's the first time I've really worn the poncho with without any layers underneath, just a t-shirt. So the idea is that maybe, because the rain keeps coming today, is that maybe the poncho's pretty impervious to wind as well as water. They'll keep the wind off, but I won't get so hot. So ponchos for the win. So far they've been, well, they were what we sit on when we stop to make coffee or have a little snack on the road. They're what we lay our bags on outside in the vestibules of the tent. Oh, they're just so useful. Really, really good. Got to be strong material, and they've got to be impervious, completely impervious. I'll leave a link down below to these ones if anyone wants to check them out. Way off in the distance, you'll see what's an oil rigs graveyard, where oil rigs come to die. That's what we were told by a local anyway. You can see them out there. I think it's the Firth of Fife, or Fife of Firth. You may just see in the window there the thumbs up with the green tick. I swear the government are trying to make this feel like ring a roses, like the plague. I'm desperate to see a house that's got a red cross with the thumbs down. This is where it gets tough at the end of the day, 5-6 o'clock in the evening, when you haven't found a spot and you've probably given up a few spots so as not to stop at 3 o'clock, and now we're just wandering along, hoping to find a bit of flat land that looks like it would allow us to camp there. There was a pretty picture painted of Scotland to us, of sort of endless free camping, wild camping everywhere. We really haven't seen that, as you've probably seen from the walk so far. It's probably no easier free camping here in Scotland at this point anyway, from anything north of Inverness. It's probably no easier free camping than it is in England, though we haven't tried to do it in England yet. But it's not easy, that's what I'm trying to say. I suppose the only advantage could be that technically you could argue the toss in Scotland that you're allowed to camp in places. But even in this day and age anyway, we found that not to be always the case. and vehicles rarely want to slow down and give you any respect when you're walking on these back roads, which is another disappointment. Craig Mahor Cottage. Now, having said that, it is beautiful. It is beautiful up here. I actually kind of prefer it to the coastline. I know a lot of people will maybe say the coastline was more dramatic, but I do love the rolling hills. I do love the rolling hills and the farmlands. When you look at this stone wall that's been patched and repaired and concreted with the ivy and the moss, the lichen and everything growing off of it, and the beautiful garden just over the top there with fruit trees and bushes and shrubs. That's what I love. I love these areas. Very beautiful. Lots of character. So how do we stealth camp or wild camp? First thing is we find somewhere we hope people can either see us but we're not troubling anyone, or in this case we've come into a big field that's left fallow. We don't think it's being used for animals at the moment. There are sheep fields a little further away and you can hear them, but this is a big fallow area and it's beautiful. We've got a little flat area under this tree. Yeah, you've got to be careful camping under trees, you know, it's particularly old trees like this where branches can fall off, but I've had a good look and everything looks pretty solid. And that's it. You want as flat an area as possible, because if you sleep and you're sort of head down or rolling to one side of the tent, that is a big no-no. You just can't sleep, can you, Michelle?
No, not if you on a camber like that.
Yeah, or even a slight camber. So you try to find something. Now, push comes to shove, this area is a little tiny bit of a slope. So what we can do is try and find a level plane this way and then a slight slope down, very slight slope down, so we can have our heads at the top, feet at the bottom, and that'll work. This is a beautiful area. Look at this. Let's just hope we're not upsetting or disturbing anyone. We should be fine. We set this tent up so quickly now, it takes us barely 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to set it up. One day when we're somewhere really, really easy and we've got good sun for charging everything, we'll do a little time lapse of putting the tent up in the wild. Anyway, we've got to get and set up. And as usual, we'll probably be early to bed.
We will, it's going to be cold again.
It's going to be a cold night. Anyway, g'day. Oh, I'll just show you while we've got this. We've got these little vestibules on the outside, and what we do is once I've pegged it out, is we put spiders all over the place, but we put our little ponchos as tarps down, and then lay the bags in here, so they're dry and off of the ground. And you'll get bugs. There'll be the odd bug, but nothing that troubles us anyway. So you'll see, there's my backpack, and we just cover it over in the vestibule so we can get to it. But it's also, so far they've never got wet, even in big rainstorms. Now, our little solar panel, in desperation that it might get a little bit of Scottish sun, but I'm doubting it, sits on the roof for a little while. Just take you over here quickly through the long grassland. See the little tent? She's a good colour. If you're going to do wild camping, even if it's, you're allowed to do it, it's good to have, not a bright red, bright orange glowing tent. Have something that blends in. We particularly chose this one for wild camping because the colour is good, and from a few hundred feet away you really struggle to see this tent in the woods or in a field. Anyway, good night. Now I'll just show you that we can. It's very compact in here, just enough room for the two of us. Everything stays dry. And Michelle and I can actually just about set up the tent with the both of us in here. But what we tend to do is come in and have half an hour just zonk, maybe blow up the little base mattresses, and just have half an hour to recuperate, maybe something to eat before we set the beds up. Say hello, Michelle.
Hello, I'm so tired. But give us half an hour, just lay down and we're all good then.
We're recharged. When we arrived here, across the fields of barley, there were candles on, and I thought, that's a bit strange, there's candles on. And they'd come here before we arrived and put some candles and set a log fire going.